Nàìjíríà ṣe ẹwà tó dáa tó tọ́ba wà náà lẹ́ẹ̀bà kò bọ́ sí rárá. Àwa náà ṣá lóde epo fún yín ọ̀pọ̀ jàgbára lọ yìí òṣèlú wa o. Mi ò ṣòṣèlú mi ò gbé ní páàkì ìpọn agbájé owó epo ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀ lọ́kọ́ kárí. Àwọn ìsọwọ́ ẹkún wa jẹ. Kódà kò ṣe di ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ṣe bíntí. Ẹ ṣáàtì fún wa jẹ́ òkìkí ojú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin òṣèlú mọ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀. Àwa ló di ìbò tó pọ̀ fún yín kẹ́ tó wọ̀n lè lò kẹ́ tó gbàgbára. Kì í ṣe wípé ìyàtọ̀ àlọ́gbọ́n lórí. Gàrí ìṣì ilé méjì látijọ́ rí. Ó di náírà mẹ́fà òdodo. Olùkọ́ òṣèkọ̀ bí ọjọ́ sí. Ata pẹ̀lú tòmátì ó pélékè. Tòróró pẹ̀lú òun ṣé wí.
Àdẹ̀ tí wàá rí nǹkan kan. Àti rí nǹkan kan gbà yẹn. Ní ìgbà yẹn, táwa báyìí lọ sí school. A máa wo ọ̀tún, a máa wò sí. A yìí máa mú kóòkì nínú fíríjì tá a bá délé. Ó sì máa jẹ ẹ̀wà tó máa bu ṣúgà tó máa rọ sí rẹpẹtẹ. Ó máa mu gàrí, ó máa mu ṣúgà, ó máa bu sí rẹpẹtẹ tó wà nílé tí òun ṣe pé ó fẹ́ lọ sùúrà. Kò tí ì le tó yìí ń gbà yẹn o. Ẹ wo ìgbà tí Barrister tó sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ẹ wá wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ títí òní. Kẹ wá wo nǹkan tí ọmọkùnrin tí mo máa gbé wá yìí, kẹ wá wo nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Nǹkan tí akúkú sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò káǹtì mọ́ ni. Èmi àti yín à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò káǹtì mọ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò ṣe kí ni kò káǹtì mọ́, kò káǹtì. Ní ìgbà tán ti rán Dúpẹ́ wá, tán ti wá rán wá sí àárín wa, tí ọwọ́ wọn ti tẹ nǹkan yẹn tó tẹ báyìí, tó rán Dúpẹ́ wá. Mi ò ní parọ́ fún yín. Ẹni tí ò bá tó ní náà tó bá ń dènà dé ni. Ajẹ́kún ìyá ló máa jẹun lọ́rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Wọ́n ti yí ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n ti yí wa ká. Ṣé mo nípa tí máa ń sọ tipẹ́tipẹ́? Wọ́n ti eléyìí tán tún padà wá ń sìn yín. Ibẹ̀ làwọn kan wá sọ di nǹkan tá à ń sọ ìtàn tí wá sọ di ogún ìdílé. Wọ́n fẹ́ make sure àwọn àti ibi tó ń lọ ní every 3 months. Wọ́n fẹ́ make sure wípé every 80% ọmọ Yorùbá ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tọrọ jẹ. Ìyẹn ló fà á tó fi jẹ́ wípé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí ayélujára tá a lè gbé wá sí orí social media irú àwọn eléyìí tó jẹ́ pé orí WhatsApp nìkan. WhatsApp gan ó dangerous. Tó bá wà lórí WhatsApp òun láti máa delete ẹ̀ ni. Torí ọlọ́pàá ò tiẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ come across, wọ́n máa ní kó mú wọn débẹ̀. Irú nǹkan kó tó sọ pé ó máa ṣàlàyé gan láti ọkọ lọ detain ẹni náà. Kẹ wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Èèyàn ti wá ship ju pọ̀nmọ́ gan lọ. Wọ́n kí ni mo pè pọ̀nmọ́ tó jẹ́ wípé oúnjẹ tálákà ni pọ̀nmọ́. Ní ìgbà tí àwa wà ní teenagers, oúnjẹ tálákà ni pọ̀nmọ́ láì má jẹ́ bọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ o. Mi ò mọ̀. ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ lọ.
àwa lọ́lọ́ ọ̀gbọ̀n ò lágbára ni ẹ̀yin táwa yàn síbẹ̀ tẹ́ lágbára. ọjọ́ nàìjíríà ẹ̀fẹ̀ wà lóhùn wọn bá àwọn ọmọ bá tó dé.
ẹni tó wá fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé àwọn òṣèlú yẹn sọ wípé ọlọ́run wà, ẹ jẹ́ bá mi type sínú comment section. àwọn òṣèlú yìí mọ̀ wípé táàfà bá tí kinní kan bá máa jóná kò ní ṣe ojú ọmọlé kéwú. ní ìgbà tí Babangida tó bọ́ta tó sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ, lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn kí la fẹ́ gbọ́? Yàyà Bello kí ló fi wẹ́kọ̀mù ẹ̀ lórí gbogbo ariwo lórí oyè owó tọ́nà kó jẹ lórí gbogbo fọ́ǹbù tí àwọn tó ń fọ́ǹbù wípé tí Yàyà Bello ò bá ṣe ẹ̀wọ̀n DSS ọ̀gá wọn ní òun rẹ́dì láti fiṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ wọ́n mà ti ń celebrate, wọ́n mà ń jubilate ń sẹ́yìn ó mà tún campaign, ó mà tún fọgbọ́n fún yín láì jẹ́ wípé ẹ ti Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu, ó mà ń campaign, ó mà tún ti ń campaign fún, ó mà ń wojú rere. One Nigeria, how market? eléyìí tí wá ń burú tí wá burú jáì. Bọ́bí tí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lọ mo máa gbé wá fún wa ń sìn. Bọ̀ ẹ máa fún mi ní àkókò, ẹ máa fi ara balẹ̀ fún mi, èmi àti máa fara balẹ̀. A máa gbọ́ gbogbo analysis tí bọ̀bọ́ yìí tó ṣe. Màá wá gbé paríparí ẹ̀, màá wá gbé wá débi wípé ìsinyìí 2025 kán sì máa kàn kán sọ pé àwọn fi owó sílẹ̀ láti ọ̀nà federal kan láti Òṣogbo lọ sí Ìlọrin láti kinní kan. 2 years ago tí mo lọ Ìlọrin, ó ń ṣe ọ̀nà kan láti ibì kan, èyí tẹ́ jẹ́ Ìlọrin àǹkó ẹ máa mọ gbogbo, ó ń ṣe express kan, wọ́n sì parí ẹ̀ títí dìsìn. ó ń ná tún fún wọn ní owó burúkú tó tún gbé sílẹ̀ láti lè fi campaign bò tó ń bọ̀. Kò ní ìdí kan máa campaign ìbò ní Nàìjíríà. níṣẹ́ ló yẹ kán sọ wípé lágbájá báyìí ló kàn kó dẹ̀ bọ́ síbẹ̀, rather than tó fi jẹ́ wípé wọ́n kàn ń dààmú àwọn ẹni ẹlẹ́ni. ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó ti bá ẹ̀yìn yọ. tèní òjọ tàná òjọ tèní, ètò worst, ó ti worst ju ètò ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn lọ. àwọn olówó nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, èmi àti yín a máa jọ gbọ́ àlàyé náà. ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ Barrister yìí, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ délẹ̀, kémi àti yín ká wá jọ wo fídíò bíi méjì tí mo fẹ́ gbé wá. ẹ máa bá mi ká lọ. ó wá lè jẹ́ ọjọ́ kan.
ohun tá a bá ṣe sílẹ̀ la máa bá ìyá mi. ẹni tó lé ní kó máa yọ̀dù kó máa dúpẹ́ fọlọ́. ẹni tí ó lọ́la wà ó mọ̀ olú Adéṣọlá. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wọlé káàbọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wọlé káàbọ̀, ẹ ṣe rántí ẹ̀kúnnù yíyá máa jẹ wá
àwọn eléyìí ò rántí mẹ̀kúnnù, àwọn eléyìí ti sọ di family business ni. náà ìyá mi bá mi, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtàbúrò mi àti ẹ̀yin ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi, ẹ máa bá mi ká lọ. ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gbọ́ analysis yìí, ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ ẹsẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká wọ inú ètò lọ. ọ̀rọ̀ náà ó gba omijé ní ojú ènìyàn. last video tí màá gbé wá, ẹ rí wípé ó gba omijé lójú ènìyàn ní nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ àwọn èèyàn wa, nǹkan tó ń sọ wọ́n dà. ọ̀rọ̀ náà ò ṣe kí ni, ó gba omijé lójú ènìyàn wípé ìwọ Ọlọ́run ṣé bó yẹ kó máa rí leléyìí. Ọlọ́run kí la fẹ́ ṣe? kí la fẹ́ ṣe ju nǹkan tá à ń ṣe yìí lọ, ju nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí lọ? mo bí fẹ́ lè sọ wípé tó bá ń bá báyìí lọ sẹ́, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká fi máa pìtàn. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká fi pìtàn. Ẹ má bá mi ká lọ.
Watch this. If you are the type that likes stepping up on this, please watch it and learn from this video, guys. Why we post all this video? For you to learn things from it. If you are the type that likes stepping on this, stop from today. Can you imagine the way she just fell into it? Oh God, I just pray she is okay. They should just hurry up now and help her out. They should hurry up. Find out a solution in helping her out. You guys should hurry up. Why are you making video? Hurry up. I hate stepping on it. I don't know why people like stepping on such thing when you see on the road. It's risky stepping on it. People should stop. Please share this video for people to know that this thing is very risky for you to step on it. You guys should stop stepping on it. It's not nice. Just imagine. Oh God. Thank God they have brought something to help her out. Share this video. Stop stepping on it. Some are dangerous. Can you just imagine? Thank God she's coming out.
A wailing mother of 5, refusing to be consoled over an attack that rocked her household in Rexlawson, Borokiri, in Port Harcourt, River State. Bloodstains, shattered windows, houses and cars destroyed. The extent of the damage following the attack on the community leaves many of the residents in shock and despair. The victims allege that this is the handiwork of men of the anti-cultism unit of the River State Police Command.
So surprised to me this morning when I come, I see almost all the cars parked at Restlawson Street get damaged. And I say now police, anti-cultist crime police come destroy all the cars, arrest people from waterfront, burn some houses, wound people and carry them go.
When I got to find out what happened, they said one of their policemen, the people that came to an arrest, and one of their policemen was shot. And I said, if a policeman was shot, it is the duty of a police to come and arrest the people that have committed that crime, not to put their anger on innocent citizens.
The public relations officer of the River State Police Command dismisses the allegations. He says his men were caught in the mix of a cold clash.
Members of the Icelanders were attacking innocent people and themselves and their rival court groups. So while that was going on, our men were drafted to that area and they swiftly responded to that distress call. And unfortunately, on setting the police, they shot one of our men and they even took his corpse. So our men, if not for the gallantry of our men, they would have taken the corpse. So they went there and rescued the dead body.
Although the police has set up an investigation to get to the bottom of the matter, the residents are hopeful that more will be done to protect their lives and property. Emmanuel Eleyi, Channels Television News.
What's holding Africa back from its true potential? Could it be that the world can't progress without Africa and its resources? In this post, we'll dive deep into why young Africans must reconnect with their history to truly understand the ongoing manipulation by Western powers. Africa's vast resources have always been at the center of global progress. From the raw materials that fuel industries to the wealth that sustains economies, the world thrives on what Africa has to offer. Yet despite this, Africa remains in a cycle of dependency, manipulated by external forces that work tirelessly to ensure the continent never achieves true freedom. But why does this continue? For young Africans, the answer lies in our history. To understand the tactics that keep us bound, we must reconnect with our roots. We must learn from our ancestors, who once knew the secrets to thriving in harmony with the land and each other. Western powers have used the same strategies for centuries, dividing, conquering, and distracting us with false hopes of external heroes. But the true hero lies within each of us. By reconnecting with our ancestors, we can tap into the wisdom and knowledge that have been buried under layers of manipulation. Only by knowing the root cause of our struggles can we begin to solve them and create a self-reliant future for Africa. So why do we keep allowing the same tactics to prevail? Why do we keep hoping for an external hero when everything we need to free ourselves is within our reach? It's time to stop waiting and start acting. Let's reconnect with our ancestors and take the first step towards true freedom. What are your thoughts? Share in the comments and let's start this important...
In the year 1960, in the Congo, Patrice Lumumba was working so hard to resist foreign control, stop foreign powers from looting his country's resources, and he desired to develop his country, but he was assassinated. In 1966, in Ghana, Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah had worked so hard to create some development. He desired to unite the entire Africa, resist foreign control from looting Africa's resources, and to develop Africa as a whole, but he was overthrown with propaganda. In 1987, in Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara had resisted foreign control for 4 years, resisted foreign powers from looting his country's resources, and he desired to develop his country, but he was assassinated. In 2011, after Gaddafi had turned Libya from one of the poorest states into one of the richest, he desired to unite the entire Africa and to develop Africa as a whole, but he was also assassinated. After the United States and the Belgium had used Joseph Mobutu to assassinate Patrice Lumumba in 1961, the United States sponsored and helped Joseph Mobutu into political power. And that was not all. The United States backed and protected Joseph Mobutu to be president for over 3 decades, and even sang his praises, even though Joseph Mobutu stole over $4 billion from his country, the Congo. Of course they liked him, because unlike Lumumba, Mobutu was a very easy and key essential for the West to keep looting his country's resources. So if you ask me, one of the major reasons why Africa is still impoverished today is because most of its leaders have the same character as Joseph Mobutu. Out of greed, they use the same power given to them by their people to rob the nation's wealth. And on top of that, they allow themselves to be easily manipulated by the West, which makes it possible for the West to keep looting our natural resources. In every 4 years, as soon as these politicians are sworn into office, they budget and approve for hundreds of brand new SUVs, which cost about $250,000 for each. These monies could be used to create jobs for the youth, but no. They would rather raise their standards to look like their Western masters. They award themselves with expensive new houses, huge salaries and bonuses, expensive trips and many more, at the expense of the taxpayers' monies.
Moving on to Equatorial Guinea, Mr. President has announced that his son is now the vice president. Between 2011 and 2014, this same guy spent $315 million on properties and luxurious goods. And don't forget about his £100 million mansion in Paris that was seized by the French government.
They take huge loans in the name of building national projects, but in most cases, the monies disappear, no projects are seen, and no proper accountabilities are given. In the end, the citizens pay off the debt through tax increments. Let's call a spade and not a big spoon. Most of the African politicians are just visionless thieves. The founder and first president of Ghana, Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, suggested in his book, Neocolonialism, that Africa could be placed among the most modernized continents if Africa's resources were used in her own development instead of being so cheap in their raw state. And he also saw that this would either be very difficult or impossible to achieve unless Africa united. The unity would make Africa strong both militarily and economically. And with the unity, Africa could fight off outside exploiters. But unfortunately, he was overthrown even before he could achieve the dream of uniting Africa. Ex-president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, was leading other African leaders into unity and was determined to bring into existence Africa's first central bank, which was going to create one currency for Africa, the gold dinar, and back the currency with gold. This would have made the African currency the strongest in the world, forcing the rest of the world to buy Africa's resources in gold. This would have made Africa lead the rest of the world and would free Africa of neocolonialism. For this reason alone, Gaddafi was assassinated.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
One would think that the rest of the African leaders would have come together to continue from where Gaddafi left off. But no, it's either they don't have the balls or they are just power hungry and they all want to be president of starving people, rather than choosing one president of one powerful nation. So yes, one of Africa's biggest problems we have is the greedy people we have in our leadership positions, who are willing to sell Africa out only to enrich themselves. And until we learn to see better and act different, we will keep changing political parties. But until now, no significant changes have been made. The general purpose of education is to train or program students to develop the skills of solving problems on their own. So students are best trained if they are trained with a method of identifying and understanding a problem and then reasoning to find a solution for the problem they have identified, with the teacher showing the process in practical form. But typically, an African child is trained with a method of memorizing answers only to pass tests, and the child doesn't even have to understand the problem or how the answer came about. They just need to get the answer right. Plus, over 90% of the education is done in theories with very little done in practicals. All this makes real-life problem solving either very difficult or impossible. So we see lots and lots of educated people with very good grades but can't solve any problems in the society. Many would think that Africa with its vast natural resources would have countless schools that teach Africans what the natural resources are, how to mine them, what they are used for, and how to process them from their raw state into finished usable products. But no, it's quite the opposite. Countries that do not have the kind of resources we have rather train their citizens on how to identify our resources, how to mine them and process them, while African students are being educated to memorize how to draw and label insects, how many times religious people pray, the life cycle of mosquitoes, and many other nonsense that do not solve no problems in the society. And we still get surprised when other countries buy our raw materials cheap, process them and sell them back to us expensive. And it is not a surprise that many of Africa's top private problem-solving companies are owned by foreign entities, while Africans move around with their certificates begging for jobs. The African school system doesn't teach nationalism. Students are programmed to love everything European and less appreciate everything African. This is so bad that students even get punished for speaking their own native language in class, but praised for fluently speaking a Western language. In our schools, we are trained to dress like Europeans, talk like Europeans, sing like Europeans, pray like Europeans, taught stories and heroes of Europeans, taught to learn and love cultures and beliefs of Europeans, while we are programmed to believe and accept that every one of our African cultures and beliefs are either useless or demonic. It is said that a people who do not learn from their history is doomed to repeat the mistakes of their fathers. And yet, our schools do not teach us our history. And even if the history is ever taught, it is highly distorted. If a people is completely stripped of their language, history, heritage, and culture, that they do not know even who they are, then the question is, what inspiration or patriotism do they have to fight to right the wrongs that have been done to them for centuries? Give me a child until he's 7 and I'll show you the man. You see, research and time have proven over and over again that if you want someone or a group of people to behave in a certain way, program them or train them in that particular way when they are young, and it will be very difficult, if not impossible, for them to depart from it when they grow old. As humans, we are all being programmed or trained or educated, but you see, this mostly happens when we are young in our schools. And if education truly determines how our future turn out to be, then until we change our education system from solely theories into practicals, from memorizing answers only to pass tests into critical thinking, from learning Western cultures into learning African nationalism, and from learning subjects that do not contribute to societal building into subjects that really do, Africa will continue to remain impoverished, because it is the individuals that make up Africa. And if we program the individuals only to become obedient employees, non-nationalists, and totally ignorant of how to use Africa's resources to develop Africa by themselves, then where is the future of Africa? You see, some people through honor and duty have given their lives up for the sake of Africa, and it is our turn now. There is a great shift, and the time is now. Not the next 200 years, nor the next 100, nor 50, nor 10 years, nor even the next year. The golden time is now. It is time for us to learn the actual truth, to decolonize ourselves, and to be sharing the actual truth with others to decolonize them as well. I've done my part for giving you this information, and now it is your turn to also do your part by sharing this information. And if you really like this content, kindly show your support by giving it a thumbs up. And also, if you're interested in content on
wallahi mutanen nan su rena arewa, dubi yadda dan shugaban kasa ne yazo yana raba abinci ya mai da mutane almajirai.
Now mo rò wípé gbogbo wa láti rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀tún lósì níwájú àti ẹ̀yìn. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ṣe rí ibi tí Ṣèyí Tinubu, ṣe rí ibi tí ó ti ń pín bàbá pín lọ́jọ́ kìíní àná, ọmọ náà ló ti ń pín lọ. Àrírú eléyìí rí, a fi ń dẹ́rù bọ́ lọ́rọ̀ ni. Kí la fẹ́ ṣe? Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe sí? Ta ló fẹ́ gbà wá? Láàárín èmi àti yín, ṣé Ìgbòho nìkan ṣó lè dá ṣe? Ìgbòho nìkan ò lè dá ṣe nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Àwa gan tá a kù gan pàápàá gan, mélòó ni wá? Mélòó làwa tá a kù? Àwọn Biafra, wọ́n lówó, wọ́n lọ́lá, wọ́n rí owó fi, máa fi gbá nǹkan yìí lẹ́yìn. Bọ́ àwa Yorùbá, eyín lásán ò ṣe, kò tún wá sí ìrẹ́pọ̀. Èmi mo jù ẹ́ lọ, ìwọ ló jù mí lọ. Tẹ́mbẹ́lẹ́kún tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ problem, the main problem àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá gangan, ìyẹn náà ń bá wa jà. Báwo la fẹ́ ṣọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí? Ta ló fẹ́ gbà wá? Ilé ayé ò ṣe gbé, ọ̀run ò ṣe bínú lọ. Ó ṣe ní láàánú tí n bá sọ wípé mo wà okay léni tí mo ń ṣe program, mi ò wà okay at all. I'm not okay at all. Wípé kí ló dé torí t'Ọlọ́run? Bóyá torí nǹkan téèyàn ń rí ni téèyàn ò lè gbé wá, tó máa wo mí báyìí, tó máa dijú báyìí. Mo dijú báyìí láti lè tẹ fóònù mi pé kí n gbé kúrò ńbẹ̀ ni. Lóríṣiríṣi àwọn pípù yìí wọ́n máa rí. Àwọn pípù yìí máa rí. Ọ̀nà màná ń ṣe ń sìn yín. Oúnjẹ mà ní Bọ́lá ní Ṣèyí Tinubu, oúnjẹ lẹ mà rí pé ó ń hà yẹn. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ ń bẹ̀ yẹn, tí èèyàn gan nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ sọ everybody di bàbí àlá. Oúnjẹ mà lọ ń hà. Àmọ́ tí ìgbọ́ ìgbà Ṣèyí Tinubu ń ṣe ló wá dá company yẹn sílẹ̀. Ṣèyí Tinubu òun ló mú security yẹn, òun ló monitor ẹ̀. Bóun ṣe máa di governor tàbí bóun ṣe máa tún wá di president gan. Africa tàlàṣẹ. Why tó jẹ́ wípé èmi nìkan tèmi nìkan yẹn ó wà nínú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa, ó wà nínú àlámọ̀rí wa. Torí owó ọmọ ó lè mú kúrò, torí owó ìyá lè mú ọmọ, torí owó bàbá lè mú ìyàwó, torí owó. A dẹ̀ sọ wípé à ń sin Ọlọ́run. Ẹ dẹ̀ sọ wípé ẹ̀rọ àwọn èèyàn lọ Mẹ́kà, ẹ̀rọ èèyàn lọ Jerúsálẹ́mù, ẹ̀ ń ṣe kinní kan. Ìwọ Ọlọ́run. Ilé ayé ò ṣe gbé, ọ̀run ò ṣe bínú lọ. Èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí pọ̀, I'm telling you. Èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ó pọ̀. Ọmọ Yorùbá, mò ń sọ fún yín pé èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ó tẹ̀ tí wá ju ọjọ́ orí wa lọ. Torí pé mélòó lèmi àti yín? Àlówó tí ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ ti Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu tó ní nínú àkáǹtì, ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó ní nínú àkáǹtì. Àwa ta sọ pé Yorùbá nation, wípé gbogbo àkáǹtì wa a ní owó tó ní. Ṣáwa ta fẹ́ gbà ló nìyẹn? Ẹ má jẹ́ ká tanra wa. Ẹ wo ọ̀rọ̀ náà ó gbẹnu tán, ó sùyàn. Bọ́ mo mọ̀ wípé táyé bá ń jáyé, tọ́run bá ń jọ̀run, gẹ́gẹ́ bí àkọọ́lẹ̀ wípé ó ń ṣọmọ ọlọ́kù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a ní sín pẹ̀lú òkú ẹ̀. A máa débẹ̀ ẹ̀bọ̀ ìgbà wo ló jẹ́? Èmi ò mọ̀. Àkókò owó ní mi ò mọ̀, bọ́ mo mọ̀ wípé mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé akú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí. Tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́ ni, ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa subscribe. ẹ dẹ̀ má gbàgbé láti bá wa tẹ like, ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa fi comment tí yín sílẹ̀. Ojú wo lẹ́yìn náà fi wò ó nílé? Ẹkún ìbànújẹ́ kò ní jẹ́ ti tèmi àti yín. Ọ̀rọ̀ náà ó gbẹnu tán. Ó gbẹnu tán. God bless you. Bye for now.
Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
Mo kí gbogbo ojú tí wò mí ti ń gbọ́ mi jákèjádò orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáyé. Orúkọ mi ni Ambassador Àkànfẹ́ Ìwò tí mo jẹ́ agbẹnusọ fún iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited. Níléeṣẹ́ wa bí láti màmọ̀ dájú nǹkan kan tí eléyìnbó ń pè ní health is wealth, ìlera lọ́rọ̀. Kì í ṣàfẹnujẹ́ nìkan tá a bá ń gbọ́ ní sétí. Torí gbogbo lọ́gbọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n ń kojú àìsàn tí a pè ní ìfúnpá gíga. Ìdí ni tí iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal fi ṣètò oògùn ìfúnpá gíga fún ní powder àti ní olómi. Kò tán síbẹ̀, oògùn ìtọ̀ ṣúgà ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited ní powder àti ní olómi. Òun náà lẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Oògùn ọ̀pẹ́ ẹ̀yìn wà tí a ti ṣe lọ́jọ̀ fún ẹni tó bá ń kojú ọ̀pẹ́ ẹ̀yìn torí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣòro. Iléeṣẹ́ wa níbí ní oògùn ẹ̀ tó lè bá wọn tán rẹ̀ lójú ọgbọ́n. Bákan náà, ogunlọ́gọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n jẹ́ oníbìísí tí wọ́n ti rora wọn pín wípé Ọlọ́run ò lè ṣe, ṣùgbọ́n tó jẹ́ pé àìsàn kan sómìíràn ní nǹkan di ọmọ bíbí wọn. Ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Herbal International Limited fún ìwòsàn fún àwọn oníbìísí. Kò tán síbẹ̀ o, a ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oògùn tí a ṣe létò fún ẹni tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tó bá ní ikùn gbẹ̀ndù tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rá ti pọ̀ jù lára ẹ̀, ó máa bá wa burn fat, a pè ní X2 burn fat fún obìnrin àti fún ọkùnrin. Bákan náà, ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited, a ní egbòogi èyí tá a ṣe ní powder fún ẹni tó bá ń kojú àìsàn stroke. Ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lé èèyàn tó ní lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, ẹ dán wò. Ìjọba lù lóǹtẹ̀ fún lílò torí pé ojú dání. Káàkiri ni wọ́n ti mọ̀ wá nílẹ̀ yìí jákèjádò àgbáyé. Kò sí onírúurú àìsàn tàbí àrùn tẹ́ lè máa kojú tí a ní oògùn rẹ̀, egbòogi ẹ̀dá ti ṣe lẹ́jọ̀. Torí ẹ̀, àìrìn jìnnà láìra gbúgbé ọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ o. 079 0153 tàbí 0806 4000 204. X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited. Health is wealth with care. God is.